Hi, my name is Portia Fernandes.
And my name is Drake Smith. We're interns for the City of Annapolis Office of Emergency Management, and today we're going to talk to you about drug abuse.
No, Drake, we don't like to use the words drug abuse anymore. We like to use the phrase drug misuse because the word abuse tends to hold a negative connotation.
Well, thank you for that clarification, Portia. Now we can start the PSA. This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs.
Okay, stop. Drake, it's not that type of PSA.
Oh, I see. If someone comes up to you and offers you drugs, just say no.
Okay, Drake, stop. This is not your grandparents' PSA. No frying eggs, no just saying no, no cheesy slogans. The 80s are over.
So how are you supposed to get our point across?
We'll let the facts do the talking, because sometimes the facts can get lost amongst everything else.
My two brothers, Ryan and Matt, they are twins. We were 2.5 years apart. We were best friends, super close. We did everything together. And Ryan was this tall, very handsome athlete. Matt was on the shorter side and just a pretty boy, and he was a musician. We were really good kids. When you're younger, you definitely feel like you're invincible. You think that nothing's ever really gonna hurt you, no matter what you do. And we definitely, all three of us had that, mentality. And as we got a little bit older and we were going out to bars and we were drinking, those couple of drinks turned into heavy drinking, which then turned into party drugs. One night we were out at a bar and Matt stayed out a lot later than the rest of us. He got behind the wheel. He had done quite a bit of cocaine that night and he got into a car accident. I would say within 6 months of Matt's accident, he was addicted to the medication he was prescribed by his doctor. But within, I guess within like a year, Matt was coming out less and less. So I finally went over to Matt's house and kind of just did a pop-in and was like, what's going on? And he did tell me that he was fully addicted to his medication. That at that point, he was actually buying pills on the street to offset what the doctor was giving him because it wasn't enough. This is just a means to an end. Once I'm done these surgeries, I'm gonna, stop taking them. Like, don't even worry about it. So Ryan and I had that, sibling conversation, like, something's going on with Matt. How can we fix this? I decided that it was time to talk to Mom and Dad. Sitting there in front of my mom that day was probably one of the hardest days of my life for myself, but she was ready to jump in and help immediately. My dad, on the other hand, totally different reaction. For him to see this light on Matt was like, there's just no way. It felt like Mom and I, we teamed up and we were every day living to save their lives. It's awful because here Matt had been dealing with these demons for a lot longer, but Ryan actually was the first one to overdose. Started with drinking and hanging out with his friends after bar hours to alone in his bed. And that's how most addicts die. They die alone. And that is how Ryan died. After Ryan passed away in January of 2015, it got Matt together. Everything was gonna be okay. We were gonna get through this loss and it was gonna be fine. And then on the anniversary of Ryan's, it had been 2 years since he passed, Matt went out after work and he had a couple beers and that's all it took. And I can tell you at this point, my dad was definitely not helping in any way because he dealt with Ryan's death through a bottle. So we were taking care of him and trying to nurse Matt back to save his life. And then 3 years and 18 days later, Matt overdosed. Looking back, we can see those final days almost like how he was saying his goodbyes to us, and he was doing them separate so that we wouldn't have those conversations. And then he had called the night before he passed and said, hey, make sure you come over tomorrow, come early, I wanna see you and the boys, I miss you guys. When I walked into his room, it was like this empty person sitting on his bed. And I asked if he was all right, like, what can I do? And he was like, I just need a few minutes, like, I'll be up in a couple of minutes. And he gave everybody a hug, and I was walking out of his room and I turned back and I was like, I love you, right? And he's like, I love you too. I went upstairs. And then within like 5 minutes, I got this feeling. And I yelled for my mom and rushed back downstairs, and we had to kick his door down. I gave him CPR till the paramedics got there. I can tell you the moment that Matt took his last breath in my arms. It was like this unbelievable, like, how am I an only child now? I miss them so much, but I think to myself constantly, like, what if I did not think I was invincible when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 going out? What if that day that I decided to throw in the towel, I went to my mom that day and I laid it all out about all three of us, and that she had more time to react with Ryan instead of just Matt? These are questions that I will never have the answers to. What has happened, and it's horrible. But what I can do is I can share this story. I can hope to change the narrative for other kids, for my own kids. I know that I learned a lesson from my own mistakes. I learned a lesson from my brother's mistakes. What did you guys learn today?
That was Katie's story. The facts we see on paper are her reality. As a twin and as a brother, I can't imagine losing any one of my siblings.
Again, thank you, Katie, for sharing your story with us. And I want you to remember that you have a choice.
A choice. To use again or to continue on your recovery journey. But once you overdose, all those choices are taken from you.
Please go to OD for Annapolis for more resources to help you or someone you know in need.